Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the 43rd Sigmund Freud lecture. And we have come together this time in the Haus der Gesellschaft der Ärzte to commemorate the 160th anniversary of Sigmund Freud's birth on 6 May. Freud himself delivered his first lecture before the Gesellschaft der Ärzte 130 years ago, in October 1886. He lectured on male hysteria, and as you can well imagine today, he did not go unchallenged. Nevertheless, Freud was admitted to the society the following year, remaining a member all his life. Freud expressed his thanks for the congratulations sent to him on his 75th birthday by the presidents of the society, Anton von Eiselsberg, and the Nobel Prize winner Julius Wagner Jaurek, with the words, "Your devoted colleague, Freud." Viennese contemporaries could not foresee that Freud's psychoanalysis would usher in a cultural turning point in Europe and profoundly change the way people see themselves, nor that Freud's international reputation would surpass that of his renowned colleagues by far. In Austria, as you know, the history of Freud's influence survived the dark days of the Second World War thanks to the commitment of a very few people. Elsewhere, it continued to evolve after the expulsion of psychoanalysis from Vienna. An important role in this respect was played by the International Psychoanalytic Association that Freud founded in 1910 after the Wednesday Psychological Society and the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society. The Vienna Psychoanalytic Society could only resume its activities in Vienna in 1946 after the end of the war, and celebrated its anniversary just recently at the Akademium Salzkreis. It is situated there together with the Vienna Working Group on Psychoanalysis that was established in 1947 and whose aim is also to further psychoanalysis, along with the Freud Society, founded in 1968, to whom we owe the opening of the Sigmund Freud Museum in 1971. Since then, the core task of our institution in the former work and living rooms of the father of psychoanalysis have been to research and communicate Freud's cultural labor, his Kulturwerk, as Thomas Mann put it. As you can see, we can once more rely on a little network of Freud institutions in Vienna that, although they each have a different emphasis in their work, are nevertheless intimately linked. One might even go so far to say related by their history. These organizations thus not only look back on a common origin, their goal to preserve the cultural heritage and legacy of Sigmund Freud in theory and in practice, and to harness it for the particular discourses is another common denominator. Just how close these family ties are becomes clear when we look back to the beginning of the Freud Museum and recall that person who united the evolution of psychoanalysis and its early institutionalization, Anna Freud, who managed her father's legacy as his daughter and as an analyst, who was forced to endure the pain of fleeing from the Nazis, and who was a tireless champion of psychoanalytic science and its international dissemination. Anna Freud, as you know, returned to Vienna for the first time in 1971 to attend the 27th Congress of the International Psychoanalytic Association and to see the just opened Sigmund Freud Museum. Friedrich Hacker, the first president of the Freud Society, in a letter to Anna Freud in September of that year, quote, "My dear Dr. Freud, above all, I hope that you have recovered from the strain of your stay in Vienna, and I'm convinced that you sensed that you have given significant impetus to the course of psychoanalysis, not only in Vienna, but also in the whole world." Unquote. In fact, recent historical findings show that the 27th International Congress played an important role in stimulating the activities of the Vienna associations, including the dialogue between psychoanalysis and medicine. Under Freud's support of the Freud Museum, her generous donations have also created a very, very important cultural resource in Austria. In his letter, Hacker suggests that Anna Freud surely sensed the positive consequences of her stay in Vienna. This not only emphasizes the meaningfulness of her commitment, he also implies her empathy that preceded the events in Vienna in 1971. Anna Freud also received numerous distinctions, but not without stressing that such accolades must never allow us to forget that her work and the work of so many others was once driven out and or destroyed by the Nazis. And if we now draw on Freud's concept of empathy, Einfühlung, we could suggest that Anna Freud's empathetic attitude ensured sufficient unfamiliarity. Also, if sympathetic, she also maintained the professional detachment of the psychoanalyst in her endeavor to enable the people of Vienna to face their own unconscious desire. And just as Anna Freud, honorary president of the IPA, came to Vienna 45 years ago, so too has Stefano Bolognini kindly accepted our invitation to Vienna. The 2016 Sigmund Freud lecturer, the president of the International Psychoanalytical Association, gives us all the welcome opportunity to indulge in our common interest, the examination of psychoanalytic methods. And as director of the Sigmund Freud Museum, I would like to take this opportunity to extend a special welcome to the former and the current acting chairman and women, board members, and so many candidates of the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society and the Vienna Working Group on Psychoanalysis. My warm welcome also to the board members of our board who join us today. I'm so happy that you all are here today. The humanizing function of contemporary psychoanalytic empathy will be our theme for today, and it seems to be a well-chosen theme, not only in view of the coincidence, James Joyce would say, of past and current events concerning psychoanalysis in Vienna. The function of psychoanalytic empathy, which does not imply making oneself as one with the other person, but rather sees understanding the reality of the other person as a step forward solving a problem, could also provide our current society with meaningful answers to current political questions, I think. Before I pass the word to Goa Homoyompa, a member of our advisory board, I would like to thank you so much for your engagement, Goa. You will also give us an introduction to Stefano Bolognini and his work. She studied in the United States and in Canada. Today she practices in Tehran as a training and as a control analyst in the Freudian group founded by her there. She's also a member of the IPA and American Psychoanalytic Association and teaches at the Shahid Beheshti University in Tehran. And now, please join me in welcoming Stefano Bolognini, president of the IPA in Vienna. We are so happy to have you here today. Thank you for coming.